So today we're going to discuss about a small concept. So I mean it may take maybe some half an hour to 40 minutes. Okay. So that is DNS. Nothing but domain name server. Domain name server. So to make IP or internet protocol user friendly. Okay, so to make IP, I mean it can be some public IP. So to make IP or internet protocol as a user friendly here, basically. Okay, so when we are going to have this respective scenario, we will discuss now, basically. Okay, so first of all, go to this portal.azure.com and log in with your credentials. Provide the respective password. Click on resource group. Click on create. Okay, maybe some resource group name is Azure test. Click on next tags, next review and create. Finally click on create. So resource group is created. So just try to create some ritual network and followed by some subnet. So Azure test, and here maybe some Azure test hyphen vnh. Okay, so next IP address 10.11. Maybe some 0.0/60. Okay, so add subnet Azure test hyphen subnet. So 10.11.1.0/24. Click on add. So next security, next tags, next event create. Finally click on create. So then try to create some virtual machine. So go with the resource group. So maybe some Linux machine one. Go with password Shiva one. Click on none. Next disks. Select the standard SSD. Next networking. Okay, next management. Click on disable. Next advanced. Next tags. Next review and create. So go to home, click on this virtual machines, click on this Linux machine one, whatever the machine which you have created, right? And go to networking and try to add some inbound security role, inbound port rule or security role, something. Allow all the ports. Click on add. Okay, so it will take some time to add. Meanwhile, so here first of all go to command prompt. Okay, so and type as ns lookup, ns lookup facebook.com, something like this. Okay, so go to cmd. So ns lookup. Okay, so here if you observe we have got some IP address, right? Some IP address. So if you copy paste this IP address, in any of these browsers, it is redirecting to facebook.com. Means, so this is the public IP address of Facebook. Okay, for me I'm getting some 157. Maybe if you're trying this respect to command in your respect to command prompt, maybe you're going to get some different IP address here, but it is a public IP only. Okay, so and as an end user or as a user of Facebook, or if you're replacing some services some from facebook.com, right? So you're unable to remember these many of IP address, whatever the IP address, right? So that is the reason whenever if you're typing some IP address, it is redirected to some facebook.com. Even if you're typing some IP address, or directly if you're typing some fb.com or maybe some facebook.com, so it is redirected to the Facebook website only, right? So likewise, so here if you observe this is a public IP, it is redirected to facebook.com. Same thing we are going to achieve in our Linux machine as well, once if you install some Nginx server. So once if you install some Nginx server, so this thing is also having some public IP address. So whenever if I am typing this public IP address, it should be redirected to some website, whatever the website it can be. Okay, so that thing we are going to achieve. So there is nothing but what is exactly this domain name server doing. Okay, so if you are having some IP address, some public IP, right? If you want to redirect to some website particularly, right? So then you are going with some domain name server concept here basically. Okay, so this is the best example. So whenever if you are typing some IP, it is redirected to the uh, what we call facebook.com. So like that each and every whatever the websites which is having, right, which is accessed by using browser, definitely is having some IP address, public IP address, and each and every time we are not able to remember this IP address, that is the reason they are redirected to some website. So here also the same thing we are able to achieve here. Okay, so once if you log into your respective Linux virtual machine, whatever the virtual machine which you have created, so in that just try to install some Nginx server basically. Okay, so whenever if I am typing this IP address, so you know that we are going to get some welcome page of Nginx server basically, right? But whenever now if I am giving some IP address, it should be redirected to some website. Okay, so how to configure that one or how to implement these concept as a practically we're going to discuss now basically. So just log into Nginx server, or sorry, virtual machine by using putty. Paste it here, click on open, click on asset, provide the username and password. Okay, go to root user and type some sudo apt update apt install in Linux -1. Okay, so it is installed. So just if you copy paste this IP address to any of these browsers, here we're going to get some welcome to Linux basically. Okay. So now our intention is whenever if I'm typing this IP address is a public IP, it should be redirected to some website name basically. Okay. So that is the reason we are going for this DNS. So if you want to redirect these public addresses to the respective website, you require a concept called as DNS. Okay. So first of all, we require some website. So you can purchase some website maybe with some less cost, maybe some 99 or 100 rupees. So just go to any of the website vendors who are providing this website names. So just I'm going with GoDaddy. So just try to create some account within this GoDaddy. Click on sign in. So currently I'm having already a website called as shivatutorials.com. Okay. So I want to redirect to this specific site basically. Okay. And here even you can purchase some website. So for practice purpose, some dummy website if you want, or if you're having already some specific vision for yourself, right? You can purchase some website. So you can just type some maybe uh, some website name, maybe Azure QW. So, so if you observe, it is less than 100 rupees. So try to purchase these types of website for just for practice purpose, right? So we will not utilize these websites anyway. So or if you're having some website which is already having maybe some within your respective website vendors, whoever, right? So try to go to that specific site. So currently I'm already having my site. I mean not website, just I'm having some domain name. Okay, so this is my domain name basically. Okay, so now go to type here DNS. Click on DNS zones. Click on create. So select the resource group, that is Azure test. So here whatever the website name you are having, right? Whatever the website name you are having, so you need to provide that respect to website in DNS zones. Nothing but shivatutorials.com. Okay, click on next tags, next review and create. Finally click on create. Okay, so DNS zones is created. Go to this DNS zones. Click on it. Okay, so here if we're having some name servers, right? ns1 underscore, sorry, ns1 hyphen 05, some azure hyphen dns.com, dns.net, dns.org, dns.info, right? So here what are the name servers which are getting after creation of these DNS zones, right? The same name servers we need to update here as well. Okay, so go to manage DNS, click on manage DNS. So currently I already having the same here. What are the name servers which were having in GoDaddy account? The same name servers in which you're having in this DNS zones as well of the Azure cloud account. Okay, you no need to modify. So let us assume here instead of 05 I have got some 06. Okay, so then definitely we need to modify here. So we need to click on change. So here you can remove all these things. Try to add that respect to ns-06.azure-dns.com or dns.net, dns.org, dns.info. All of these name servers we need to add, not a single one basically. So currently I'm not doing because this same name servers we're having. Okay. So once if you let us assume here I'm having some 6 and here I updated this respective name servers. Let us assume. Okay. So then it will not reflect immediately within this GoDaddy account. I mean it will not directly go for, I mean directly it will not change to ns1 hyphen 06 dot azure hyphen dns.com. It will not reflect immediately. So even though it is going to reflect in the GoDaddy, but backend it is going to take some amount of time. Sometimes it is going to take 1 hour, sometimes even 24 hours, sometimes even 2 days as well. Okay. So that thing we can check it by using DNS propagation checker. Okay. So go to Google and type some what is what is my DNS? Go to here, provide your website name, click on search. So here if you observe, these are all what are the symbols we are seeing cross symbols are in red, right? So basically you need to get all the symbols into tick marks as a green. So then only what are the name servers which are having in this Azure cloud, the same name servers it is going to map to this GoDaddy account as well. So whether it is mapping or not, whether it is updated in the GoDaddy site or not, not only GoDaddy, any website vendors. Okay, so you can check by using this what's my DNS.net. Okay, so but still sometimes it is accurate, sometimes it is not accurate. But basically here, if you observe the same name servers we're having here as well. right? Mostly it is going to redirect. So unless if it is not updated in this DNS propagation checker, right? So if you're typing, even though if you're typing some IP address, so it will not redirect to shivatutorials.com. So once these updates or once these changes is done, once these are reflected here, so then only whenever if you're typing some public IP address of an Nginx server, right? So it will be redirected to the respective website. But before that, so if you want to do, I mean, if you want to achieve this redirect mechanism, basically go to this DNS zones, click on record set. So one is www. Okay, so somebody will type some www.shivatutorials.com. Somebody they will not type some shivatutorials.com, right? So if you observe the Amazon, so what we are doing basically, so you are typing some instead of, so like this we are typing, right? So maybe you can type some amazon.in. So even if you're typing this amazon.in, so we are getting some website, right? So that things we can configure here. So one is with w and one more thing is without w. I mean we need to create two record set with and without w basically. Okay, and here whatever the IP address we're having for the respective website, sorry, for the respective virtual machine, so type it here and remove http. So like this. Okay, click on OK. So now we need to add one more record set, that is without w. Okay, provide the respective public IP address here, click on OK. Just refresh. Here it is added here. This is the one thing and this is the one more thing. So if you type this, still I'm getting some welcome to Nginx. So just I'm typing in this one in chat. Maybe some of you can access. Maybe it will be redirect to. So somebody will access this public IP address. It may redirect to, I mean, shivatutorials.com. So you can cross check it, any of you. Just I have pasted in chat box.
No, Shiva.
It is not redirecting.
No, Shiva. Same welcome to Nginx only.
Okay. So because of it may be this reason. Okay. So it is not up to date. That may be the reason. But once if you got this symbols as a green, right? Here we have got some tick mark as a green, right? With symbol as a tick mark and with color as a green. So like that, this all these things it need to update. So then only it will be redirect whenever if you're typing this IP address, it will surely will be redirect to the shivatutorials.com here. Okay. So just check it from your end. So definitely it will be redirected. So this is nothing but a DNS, nothing but domain name servers. So just here within this Azure cloud, we're having a service called as an DNS or DNS zones. So just we need to create the DNS zones with your respective website, whatever the website you're having basically. So if you don't have, just try to purchase with less amount within the GoDaddy account and just update this name servers. So once this updation is done, I mean once this sync is done between this DNS zones and as well as a GoDaddy account. So then surely it will be redirected from whatever the IP address which are providing in the web browser to the respective website, whatever the website which are configured in the DNS zones. Okay. So any doubts on this respective concept, any of you? Is it fine?
Yes, Shiva, I'm fine.
So next we will discuss about load balancer. Okay, and one more thing is, so if you observe here, okay, so basically we are typing some google.com, right? So if you click on control enter, it will be redirected to Google, but I did not provided this go. Okay, so even if you click on control enter, it is redirected into google.com, right? So that things you can provide in record set, that thing also. Okay, maybe if my domain name is popular, right? Not only Google, even if you go with some Amazon, okay, instead of a I'm providing something like this. If I'm providing, right, it is redirected into Amazon. So even though this spelling is incorrect, right, it is redirecting. So that thing is also we can achieve by using DNS zones basically. Not happen. Okay, so after you have removed, right, so like this if you are typing, so it is redirecting. So once it is redirected, if you are removing this one, it will not reload. Okay, initial load, what I mean to say. Okay, so these things you can configure within this record set itself if your domain name is popular, because this Amazon, Google, these things are popular, right, or Facebook, these things. So even if you type some fb.com, so it is redirected into Facebook. So these things we can achieve by using DNS zones, but your website should be a popular basically. Okay, so now we're going to discuss about a one more concept called as load balancer. So distribute the traffic. Okay, distribute the traffic across the VMs. So distribute the traffic across the virtual machine. Nothing but what is exactly load balancer basically. Okay, so here we're having two types of load balancers. So one is basic load balancer, and one more thing is standard load balancer. Okay, one is basic load balancer and one more thing is standard load balancer. So if you are going with some basic load balancer, same availability set in the same virtual network. Okay, same availability set in the same ritual network. And one more thing is we're having some standard load balancer. So different availability set in the same virtual network. Okay, so same availability set in the same virtual network, different availability set in the same virtual network. So what this difference? I mean, basic and standard. So the same availability set and different availability set. So you're going to, I mean, you can know whenever we're implementing the same concept and practically. So currently just remember that, so basic load balancer, so this availability sets which we discussed already, this respective availability set concepts, right? So same availability set in the same ritual network, and one more thing is different availability set in the same ritual network. So what this difference, right? The same and this different. So you're going to get it whenever we are implementing this respective concept practically. Okay, they are going to get some awareness. What is this same availability set and different availability set? And here one more thing is same ritual network. So this complete these two sentences basically. So these things you're going to get it whenever if you're implementing this either basic load balancer or standard load balancer practically within the Azure cloud account. So then you're going to get awareness on this. Okay. At this point of time, no need to worry. So now we are going to discuss about this basic load balancer. Okay, so how to implement practically. So before that, we'll discuss some diagram on this, what we are achieving. So Linux machine 1, so Linux machine 2. So first here basically we'll try to create some resource group Azure test underscore RG, and here, so anyway this virtual network subnetwork these things is common. Okay, so in between somewhere we're going to implement some Azure test underscore BLB, nothing but a basic load balancer, and then followed by some we are creating some two Linux machines, Linux machine 1 and Linux machine 2. So here we are implementing some availability sets as well. Azure test AV1. Okay, Azure test underscore AV1 availability set. So if you want, even you can configure some DNS, and even so this whatever the name servers which are getting from DNS, right? DNS zones. So this thing we need to update to GoDaddy account. And one more thing, I forgot to update. So actually, at last night onwards, I'm having some frequent power cuts in there. So if power is gone, right? So I was not able to access this internet. So give me some 1 or 2 minutes. I will connect using mobile hotspot. Okay. So then you need to rejoin once again by using Skype only. Okay. That is a one more update. So this is nothing but basic basic load balancer. Okay. So the same thing. So as per this diagram, so we need to implement. So here what we are going to do is we will not create this resource group, and these DNS zones we are already having, right? I don't want to disturb these things as well. So just I want to uh, delete this virtual machine and as well as virtual network, these things. So just I want to delete independently what I mean to say. So go to this virtual network, select this one, yeah, click on it. So delete here, fail to because of this Linux machine. Go to virtual machine, type yes, click on delete. So it is deleted. So now try to delete this virtual network. What happened? Subnets. Okay, so we will try to create one another virtual network. Okay, so maybe we need to delete some resource group. So just select the resource group, auto the resource group which you have created, right? So maybe you can take Azure test. This is virtual network, right? VN. Azure test VN. Next IP address 10.12.0.0/16. Add subnet Azure test VM underscore subnet. So 10.12.1.0/24. Click on add. Click on next security, next tags, next event create. Finally click on create. So just I'm deleting this record set, whatever thing which we have added, because it is pointing to Linux IP. So because of this DNS zones, it is not deleting. Still it is pointing, IP is pointing. Okay, so maybe not a problem for us. Go to this virtual networks. So this Azure test VN is created, right? So now this one is done, and this one already we have done, right? And so we need to create some basic load balancer as well. But before that, we need to create some virtual machines, right? So go to, and here we need to create some availability set as well, right? Go to virtual machines, click on create. Azure test. So here I have taken Linux machine 1, and here you need to create some availability set. Create new. Okay, you can give some availability set name, whatever the name it can be. Maybe here, what is the name? Azure test underscore AV1. Okay, by default it is 3 and 5. Click on OK. Okay, so go with password. Click on none. Next disks. Go with standard SSD. Next networking. So here Azure test subnet 1, Azure test VN, right? So next management, click on disable, next advanced, next tax, next review and create. Finally, click on create. Fan button, fan button. Okay, so it is created. Go to Linux Mission 1. Go to networking. Add in one port role. Star. Click on add. Okay, so now we will create a one more virtual machine before accessing by using putty. Okay, create a one more virtual machine. So Azure test here Linux machine 2. Okay, so availability options as a availability set. Okay, so here already we are having one availability set is there, right? So just select that whatever the availability set in which we are having. So that is the thing. Here same availability set means these two Linux machines, whatever the Linux machines which we have created, the same Linux machines so will have the respect to availability set. What are the availability set which you have created for Linux machine 1? The same availability set, just we need to map to Linux machine 2 as well. Okay, that is nothing but what is exactly same availability set. And in the same virtual network means, so whenever we are trying to create this Linux machine, so it should be pointing to same virtual network as well, basically. Okay, so go with password provide. Click on none. Next disks. Go with standard SSD. Next networking. See here you need to select the same virtual network. Okay. Click on next management. Click on disable. Next advanced. Next tax. Next event create. So finally click on create. So this is the meaning here. So same availability set in the same virtual network. Okay, so is this point is clear, all of you? Any doubts in this respective point, any of you? So if so, please let me know. So it is going on, right? So meanwhile, try to access this Linux machine one. Why it is taking this much time? Is my internet is down? Go for networking. So we are already added. Try to access. Copy this one. Go to put. Paste it here. Click on open. Click on accept. Provide the username and password. So just navigate to root user. So try to install Nginx server. Sudo apt update apt install Nginx hyphen. That is good. So here basically we are having two Linux machines, right? Linux machine 1 and Linux machine 2. So to differentiate this Nginx welcome page, so just I want to edit that specific HTML file. Okay, that is the thing what we are doing now. So clear. So if you want to edit some specific HTML file, we are having a predefined command called as find slash hyphen name start.html like this. Click on enter. So out of these many of files, right? So just we require this file. So just copy this one. So if you want to open a specific file, right? What is the command here? Nano. Type that respective path here. Click on enter. So just I am editing this h1 tag. So that is, it is basically Linux machine 1, right? Control S and Control X. Okay, same way. So try to go for Linux machine 2. Go to networking. Click on add inbound port rule. Click on add. So same way, try to access this Nginx server by using this IP address and try to change this .html file. Click on open. Click on accept. Provide the username and password. So go to root user. So just try to install this Nginx. So copy this specific path. Go with nano command. So try to edit this h1 tag. This is Linux machine 2, right? Control S and Control X. So now if you copy paste this public IP address in this browser, here we're going to get some welcome to Linux machine 2. Same way Linux machine 1 as well. Okay. So till now it is fine. Any doubts here? Any of you? Already power gone. Okay. So any doubts? Any of you? Hello.
No, Shiva.
Okay. Already power gone. I'm running with the inverter. So at any point of time, if net is down, so just rejoin this Skype within 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. Fine. So now these things we have done. So except load balancer. Now we need to implement the load balancer. So go to this Azure Cloud account. Type load balancers. Click on create. So select the resource group Azure test. So something I'm giving some Azure test underscore BLB. This is a basic load balancer, right? So go with basic because we're going with the basic load balancer. Click on next. Click on add front-end IP configuration. So maybe some Azure test So underscore front end IP. I am giving some FIP. So choose public IP address, create new, maybe some Azure test underscore PIP. Click on OK. Click on add. Okay, so next backend pools. So here in this option, specifically backend pools option, we are trying to add whatever the virtual machines which we have created. Okay, so in this backend pools option of this load balancer, so whatever the virtual machines which are created, these respective virtual machines we are trying to add in this respective backend pools. Okay, so click on add backend pool. So provide some backend pool name, maybe some Azure test hyphen underscore b pool. Select the virtual network. What is a virtual network? This is our virtual network, right? Associated to virtual machines. Click on add. So currently we are having two virtual machines, right? So select these two things. Click on add. So these virtual machines is added here, right? Click on add once again. So next inbound roles. Click on add load balancing role. So maybe some Azure test underscore LBR front end IP which we have created, right? Azure test underscore FIP port 8080 backend pool Azure test hyphen B pool. Create health prop Azure test underscore HP protocol HTTP. Click on OK. Click on add once again. So next outbound rules. So we don't have option to add this outbound rules here. Next tags. Next review and create. Finally click on create. So once if this load balancer is created, right? So whenever if you are, I mean, let us create this load balancer, then you're going to get some IP address. Then you're going to understand. Okay, so it is created. So go to this load balancer now. Click on this. Click on see more. So go to this IP address. So this is nothing but load balancer IP. if you pasted here, we're going to get some, I'm getting some Linux machine one. So if any of you tried this one, just I'm pasting in chat box. So just if you try to access this one, which machine you're getting here, basically, maybe you're going to get Linux machine 2. Anybody tried? Hello? Hello? Anybody tried?
Yeah, speaking already. Yes,
Okay.
we are getting welcome to Linux machine.
Linux machine 1 or 2? Somebody got
One.
Linux machine 2. Okay, so somebody will get Linux machine 1, somebody will get Linux machine 2. So this traffic is going to distributed between these two virtual machines here because of this load balancer implementation. Okay, and even uh, let us assume this is a load balancer IP, right? Within this load balancer IP, we configured these two virtual machines. So that is the reason sometimes you're going to get Linux machine 1, sometimes you're going to get some Linux machine 2. Okay, so the same IP, right? So even we can add it to DNS zones as well. So maybe it will be redirected to shivatutorials.com. Let us add these things in DNS zones. Go to DNS zones, click on shivatutorials.com, go to record set. So one is with the W, right? Click on OK. So one more record set without W. Click on OK. So can somebody try to access that URL, whatever the URL which I pasted? Are you getting some showtutorials.com? Any of you? Still, I'm getting Linux Mission 2 here. Your Linux Mission 1. So, any of you got it from some showtutorials.com?
I got Linux machine too.
Okay, still it is not updated. So, but this is the process basically. Okay. So, any doubts, any of you till now?
No, sure.
It is already still one thing is remaining. Okay, this is nothing but basic load balancer. Okay. So just here, we'll have some break. Maybe around we'll meet at around 10 a.m. or maybe some 10:05 a.m. Okay, so we'll meet at 10:05 a.m. So meanwhile, I will try to delete all this resource group, VMs, all these load balancers. So then we're going to discuss about standard load balancer basically. So the session will be there, right? So uh, I will not end this Skype call, and as well as the screen sharing will be there because the recording is going on, right? So that is the thing. So we'll meet at 10:05 a.m. sharp. Okay, all of you. So you can take some break. Maybe you can have some breakfast. Okay, so now we're going to discuss about one more load balancer. That is nothing but a standard load balancer, basically. Okay, so that is first. Anyway, we have some resource group. So Azure test hyphen RG. This is Azure test hyphen SLB, standard load balancer, right? So here also we're having two Linux machines. So Linux machine 1 and Linux machine 2. So here we are trying to create availability set, that is Azure test underscore AV1, and here one more availability set, Azure test underscore AV2. Okay. So here we're having some, if you want you can configure some DNS zones as well, and this DNS zones, once you've created some DNS zones, right, we want to get some name servers, so which we need to map with GoDaddy account. Okay. So here the same thing, once you've created some Linux machines, so once if you map this Linux machine to the respective standard load balancer, right? So once if you created some standard load balancer, you're going to get some IP address. So that IP address, so you can configure within this DNS zones. So whenever if you type that specific IP address, so it should be redirected to the respective website, what are the website in which you have configured in the DNS zones. Okay. So now we are trying to implement this the concept practically within this Azure cloud account, standard load balancer. So anyway, so first of all we need to create some what we call resource group, and then we try to create some DNS zones, and then we try to create some virtual network and subnetwork, and finally we are trying to create some virtual machine as well, basically. Okay. So first try to create some resource group. Click on create. Okay, maybe some Azure test location is east US. Next tags. Next review and create. Click on create. So now we need to create some ritual. Before that we need to create some DNS zones. Click on create. What is your website name? shivatothose.com, right? So next tags. Next event create. Finally click on create. So it is created. So go to this DNS zones. Right, here also still we are having 05 only. the same name servers we are having in GoDaddy as well. So we no need to modify. So now try to create some virtual network. Click on create. So select the resource group Azure test underscore vnet. Next IP address. Add subnet. Azure test underscore subnet slash 24. Click on add. Next security. Next tags. Next event create. Finally click on create. So then we try to create some virtual machine. Click on create. So select the resource group. Okay, so Linux machine 1. So go to this availability options, availability set, create new. So Azure test underscore AV1. Click on OK. Provide the username and password. Click on none. Next disks. Go with standard SSD. Next management. Sorry, next networking. So this is our virtual network and this is our subnet, right? So next management. Click on disable. Next advanced.
Shiva, we are not getting your voice.
Now is it fine? Next tags. Next review and create. Is it fine
Shiva,
now?
we are not getting your voice.
Are you getting now? Hello?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
So you need to tell me, right? It is almost okay. So click on create. Almost 10 minutes. So here, I think, but what we are doing is basically uh, we are creating resource group and we try to create some virtual network and even the sub network as well. And then we try to create some two Linux machines, and each and every Linux machine is having individual availability sets basically. Okay, so that is the thing which we are achieving now currently. So currently I have created some Linux machine. Okay, you already typed in the chat box. My mistake. Sorry for that. Okay. So anyway, no need to worry. So this recording anyway, even though we have muted this one, so at backend I'm already recording, right? So that recording will be available. So no issue on this. Okay. So um, so this Linux machine one just it is creating basically. So within this Linux machine one, so I have created one availability set with name as Azure test underscore AV1. Okay, so it is created. So go to this virtual machine, click on this Linux machine one, go to networking, add in one port role, allow all the ports, click on add. So meanwhile try to create a one more virtual machine, click on create. So select the resource group, maybe you can provide Linux machine 2. So here go to this availability set. So instead of choosing the existing availability set, so create a one more availability set here. So Azure test underscore av2. Click on OK. So go with the password. Next disks. Next standard SSD. Next networking. So here the same virtual network, right? So next management. Click on disable. Next advanced. Next tags. Next event create. Finally click on create. So go to this Linux machine one basically. So copy this public IP, go with putty, try to access this machine, provide the username and password. So try to install some Linux server. So sudo apt update apt install Linux icon one. So now after that if you want to edit some HTML file, right? What is the command here? Find space slash hyphen name start dot html basically, right? Find space slash hyphen name start dot html. So this is the file we required, right? So if you want to open, what is the command? Nano So just edit this h1 tag. Control S and Control X. Same thing for Linux machine 2. So let us deploy. Go to networking. Click on add. Click on add. So it is created, right? So just copy this IP address and go with putty. Click on open. Click on asset. Provide the username and password. Go to root user. Try to install in the next server. Sudo apt update apt install Nginx -y. Okay, so we need to open this HTML file. So nano space with respect to path. So this is Linux machine 2, right? Control S and Control X. So if you copy paste this IP address, here welcome to Linux machine 2, right? So now here we need to create some standard load balancer. So these things we have done. Okay, and here also, as I mentioned you, different availability sets we have created for each and every Linux machine one availability set, but they are under single same ritual network basically. So that is nothing but a standard load balancer. Okay, so now go to load balancers, click on create, select the resource group, right? Maybe some Azure test underscore SLP standard load balancer. So now we need to select some standard, option as a standard, previously we selected as a basic, right? Next, front-end IP. Click on add front-end IP. So maybe some Azure test underscore FIP. Create new public IP address. Azure test underscore PIP. Click on OK. Click on add. Okay, so next backend pools. So as I mentioned in your last class, right? So sorry, in the previous class basically. So in this backend pools, we are trying to add what are the virtual machines which you have created, right? So same thing we have just done in basic load balancer. So same thing we need to achieve in standard load balancer as well, right? So for this, just you need to click on add backend pool. So maybe some Azure test underscore B pool virtual network Azure test underscore hyphen bnet, right? See here what is saying, no virtual machines is found in east US. So are we going to get this machines here in this standard load balancer? We are not able to get it basically. Okay, so in the standard load balancer, so what was the issue here or what was the problem here? Within this backend pools options, we are unable to, or we are not able to get the virtual machines, what are the virtual machines in which we have created already. Okay, so in order to get what are the virtual machines which you have created, so here we have created some Linux machine 1 and Linux machine 2 in east US, right? So these Linux machines, so it should be available within this backend pool option of load balancer. So for this, so what we need to do is, okay, so basically go to this virtual machines, what are the virtual machines which you have created. So go with this Linux machine 1, go to networking, where it is, click on this network interface, go to this IP configurations, click on IP config 1. So disassociate, I mean we are disassociating the public IP address of this respective virtual machines. So choose option called as disassociate, click on save. Same thing we need to apply for Linux machine 2 as well. So it is disassociated. So go to Linux machine 2, go to networking, click on this network interface, go to IP configurations, click on IP config 1, click on disassociate, click on save. Okay, so now try to create this load balancer. Once again, click on create. So select the resource group, Azure test selfie standard. Next, front-end IP configuration. Click on add front-end IP. Azure test underscore FIP. Create new Azure test underscore AP. Click on OK. Click on add. Next, backend pools. Click on add backend pool. So Azure test underscore p pool. Select the networking. Select the virtual network. So click on add. So now if you observe what are the virtual machines which you have created. So these virtual machines, it is available under backend pool option of load balancing. Okay, click on add. Click on add once again. So next, inbound rules, click on add load balancing rule. So you can provide some name, Azure test underscore LPR. So front-end IP port 8080, create new health probe, nothing but Azure test underscore HP protocol HTTP. Click on OK. Click on add. So next, outbound rules. So if you observe in basic load balancer, right? So we don't have option to add some outbound rules. But here within this standard load balancer, we have an option to add the outbound rules. This is the one more thing which you need to notify, which you need to observe basically. Okay, so click on add outbound rule. Azure test underscore var front end IP. This is the front end IP. Protocol TCP backend pool. Select the backend pools. So use the default number of outbound ports. Click on add. So click on next tags. Next review and create. Click on create. So it is created, right? So if you observe this differences point of view, I mean whether it is a basic load balancer or another thing is a standard load balancer. So creation is same thing. So only these are some differences. So we need to create some different availability set in the same virtual network in standard load balancer point of view. And one more thing is, once if you have created this Linux machines, virtual network, sub network, all of these things, right? So whenever if you're trying to create some load balancer within this Azure cloud account, so we're having the option called as backend pools. So here in standard load balancer point of view, we are not able to get that respect to virtual machines. So in order to get that respect to virtual machines, what are the virtual machines in which you have created? So what we have did? So just we have disassociated the respect to IP address of that respect to virtual machines here. These things we have done. So then only what are the virtual machines which are created, these virtual machines it is available within the backend pools option of respect to load balancer. And one more thing is outbound rules, right? Or in basic load balancer we are unable to create or we are unable to add outbound rules, so that we are able to achieve in this talent load balancer here. These are the some differences if you notify, if you observe. So go to this load balancer, click on it, see more. So this is the IP address, right? Just copy. So and one more thing is, so just try to add this IP address in DNS zones as well. Click on, go to this website, go to this record set, one record set with W and one more record set without W, right? Click on OK. Click on add one more record set. So this is without W. Click on OK. Okay, so now whenever if you're trying to access this machine, I mean this IP address, here I'm getting Linux machine, right? So if any of you try to access this IP address here, maybe you're going to get Linux machine too. But basically it should be redirected to shivatutorials.com. So this thing it is going to take some time to redirect, maybe some 3 to 4 hours or some time, even it is going to take one day. So anybody have access to this URL? Any of you?
Yes, yes. Linux Nation 2 we are getting.
Okay, so that is the thing. This is nothing but a standard load balancer basically. So any doubts, any of you? This load balancers, basic and standard load balancer here. Any doubts, any of you?
No, Shiva.
So that's all for today. Just I'm stopping here.